And I will do more about that in a moment. But firstly, let me show off my party stats, because welcome back to Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth. Last time, we completed the 3 trials and gained access to the lab. And now, yes, I have grinded everybody up to level 33, because we're about to get some new members who join at level 35, and that's about the level that the enemies are. So yeah, Makoto has Marukikaja now. You've got Armor Breaker. Akechi has, I think, Makoha. Like, nothing's really changed that much with him. Joker now has, well, he has Agar now. All of my navigators have now learned their, final skills. So True Analysis, Oracle, and Final Guard, but I'll be showing those off once I get there. Yunarokami has a better, physical electric skill. Mataru Kaja in a few levels is nice. Femzy, I actually had to decide what to get rid of for Diorama, and I decided to give up, Agilao, because I have, I'm kind of going more physical with her. Speaking of Agilao, An has that now, thankfully. Morgana has, Garula, as well as Magaru. Yusuke has Bufala. Yeah, you have Final Guard. Haru has Sayo now. Yosuke, yeah, I replaced his physical win skill with Diorama, because when I'm going physical win with him, I'm more likely to be going with Link. Chie now has Herculean Strike. Yeah, for her, it was hard to choose what to give up, because I had to give up the sleep skill, but, like, normally I'd get rid of Counter Stance, because I don't use it much, but, it's her signature skill. I'm trying not to remove those if I can. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not level 33, and I'll explain that once we get to the next segment. Kanji hasn't really changed a ton, except for getting Zionga. Naoto has Hama, Koha, Eiga. Also doesn't really change that much. Teddy hasn't really changed that much. Yukari got Wind Boost. I had to get rid of Magaru for that. I didn't really want to, but everything else here is either really good or her signature skill, so yeah, there wasn't really much to go with there. Now, Junpei had a bit of a dilemma here, whether to give up Calm Blade for Arm Chopper. Ultimately decided to get rid of a, his Regenerate passive that I didn't feel was, like, that great, because it turns out, despite them both being considered medium attacks, Calm Blade is actually stronger. And it has an 80% chance of Hex, whereas Arm Chopper's only a 60% chance, but Strength Bind is really good. Akihiko also hasn't really changed much, he's just good all round. Mitsuru also didn't really learn much new. I guess the P3 characters already had a lot of skills to start with. Yeah, you have Oracle now. Ken, I don't think he learned anything new either. Koromaru finally has a Dur skill. I was trying to say Dark Curse, and then I merged them. But yeah, he finally has an actual Dark skill. Yeah, here I'm actually going to have a really hard time finding out what to get rid of, because normally I get rid of Serene Scroll, but because I kind of like Curse Boost, but first star stacks well with Bestial Roar, Rakunda's good, Firelink is good. And you, again, I don't think you've really changed all that much. So, yeah, that is my recap of that. And to give you an idea of how long I've been grinding for, yeah, Succubus is level 44, Mezuki is level 42. These personas have kind of gone way past their use-by date, and for that reason, I am going to be doing at least one new fusion here. So, I've got a lot of potential, oh, interesting, okay, you naturally learn Triple Link. That's probably a good thing to fuse, Mezuki into. But the main thing that I'm going for, also Dantalion is a really cool, like, mythological entity for, like, the SMT series that you don't see often in Persona. You'll just kind of discount Koromaru at this rate. The main prize here, though, is Berserker. Berserker is the earliest source of Shura Tensei, which if you're familiar with ridiculously broken kill boss in one turn builds for this game, you'll probably know about. Shura Tensei causes you to lose 50% of your, I believe it's max HP every turn. You need constant healing while this is active, but it triples all damage you deal, physical and magical. Yes, it does work on magic, and it worked like this in Q1. It's hilarious that it was like this, because people thought this was a buff in Q2. It did affect magic in Q1, it's just that magic was so bad there that no one noticed. But yeah, triples all damage, and it doesn't take up a buff slot, so yeah, this is one of the strongest skills in the game. However, the thing is, I can't really get like a ton of my really good things into Berserker. Because, like, ideally you want that and Bestial Roar and Lynx on the same thing, but it's hard to do that without using, like, skill cards to inherit skills. Yeah, look, the previous version I registered of you was level 28. Maybe if I go Mezuki first, I can go Bestial Roar, Psy Strike Link from Narcissus, and then... I like having both double and triple link, but if I've just got one, I'm going to go for triple link. Oh, this is the only fusion into you that requires Mezuki, and I do like Unicorn and Gorgon a lot. But I may need to do this, because I want to keep as many elemental link skills around as possible. You will need them for the boss of the third labyrinth. Succubus, Nigimitama, Basilisk. I would like to pass down... yeah, a Navigator persona onto you. Okay, Hunting Prayer, Orb of Resolve, Orb of Power, Yomi Return. Okay, with this, I can get... double link, triple link, and then... a lot of physical people are weak to wind, so let's go with resist wind. Probably should have done endure, but oh well. Oh yeah, I also picked up some other personas, because like as my level got higher, enemies were dropping higher level personas in my grinding session. So I love Basilisk. I remember Basilisk from the Devil Survivor games for being one of like the early game ranged attackers. Also got Gozuki, the counterpart to Mezuki. I think they're like the two kind of guardians of the Japanese underworld. But I kind of want to buy back Pele to see if I can pass Agilao onto more things. Because I noticed that I have had a big lack of fire sub-personas. Okay, for example, Unicorn, Gorgon, Pele. That sounds good. Although, hang on, do I have any... oh, I can get Scarecrow and Makajan with Bind Arts. Nice. Sometimes, though, I don't like having, like, both, like, a magic offense and, like, bind build on the same persona. I kind of like my bind and ailment personas to be like their own things so that I can have that and then do damage with somebody else. I wonder if I can actually do this and then just immediately buy back Dantalion, because Freyla is good to have too. I can get Magaru onto you as well. And Mind Strike, because Psy is also kind of rare on sub-personas. So what exactly is Dantalion? Yeah, Ars Goetia, I thought so. Oh, that is actually really, really good. Orthoros and Kikuri Hime. Again, I've got a lot of money. I will need to buy back Dantalion again for this. But I do want to pass down my ailment art combo. And I have a lot of money to fully kit out my party, but before that, we're going to choose our party. So coming up is yet another forced fight with a bunch of robots that are weak to elect, so having Akihiko here for Mazio is great. And I want to bring Yukiko for the aforementioned reasons. There are going to be some enemies weak to fire coming up, though. And even though Ken's motivated, I kind of want to bring Femc here for reasons. Oh, speaking of, she's redundant with Yukiko, but, reasons, I'm gonna bring Yukari. I guess we can bring an electric tank. Okay, that's every element covered, a good amount of ailments and binds and stuff. Now, let's kit ourselves out. I don't like this slight drop in. Oh, it's only a drop by 1. It's like that blue down arrow kind of scares you, but when it's only at 1 point, it's not that big a deal. I'm gonna restock my revival beads. I was at 38.5 hours-ish last time, and now I'm at 45. Yeah, that was a lot of grinding. Done mostly over the course of like a day, too. But anyway, let's go back into Aegis for the second floor, and I will see you at the elevator. After I go back in and out, because I realize I only have one good navigator persona, so I should only use one navigator. I did not have Clotho before, so I'll definitely take that. Now, I'm gonna need to go back to the lobby again, because I just realized that I forgot to turn off safety mode and fast battle speed. But I wanted to show this, because so this is really funny. Yukiko actually has 2 signature moves. Elusive Dance, and this. This is technically a generic skill that anybody is able to have. The problem is, no sub-personas learn this. Yukiko is the only character in the game who learns Mamuturi. I have no idea why, but that is just what they have decided. So, I have Maka Jam on sub-personas, so I can probably just do this. Yeah, I am contractually obligated now to never delete that. I'm gonna show myself doing it just to prove that I've done it. Battle speed normal, difficulty hard. Also, now that all of the parties have joined, and we have all of the Q2 original battle themes, I think now maybe I could just show off the extra BGMs that I got by pre-ordering this game, and just do random BGM from the entire list. And it is the P4 version of Light the Fire Up in the Night from Persona Q1, one of my favorite battle themes in the whole franchise. I really shouldn't be showing this fight, but like, this music, I can't, so good. I do prefer the P3 version though. Sorry, I know I've been putting off the thing that you all want for so long, but now it's finally time to advance. Yep, this labyrinth actually changes design and music as you go into the second half. See, I was gonna say I am getting a serious Digital Devil Saga vibe from this area, but it's just like, I get Digital Devil Saga vibes from everything, as you can probably tell, just because, you know, I love Digital Devil Saga. The ultimate dystopia, the AI has learned how to create more AI. Yeah, you best start believing in sci-fi stories. You're in one! And then maybe, but there's a fairly high chance they may be made out of, like, liquefied human flesh or something. Because just, I don't know why sci-fi loves using the plot twist of, oh, that food's actually made of human. He was once the advisor type, and now he's the sassy type. See, this is actually kind of a thing as well. Like, a lot of people kind of wish that Ryuji talked back to people like Morgana more than he does already. We're all a bunch of jokers. If you do that, it'll just summon his persona, so, just go ahead. That is true, though. Like, Yosuke does serve a pretty important role in the investigation team's dynamic. And all these conversations are just, you know, showing me that I really need to give that tangent that I promised for so long. Like, really soon. But don't worry, I will be doing it, maybe in the next part. But, like, it's coming. I've been looking forward to it for a while. Because, yeah, they're just emphasizing just how many different personalities they are. And even despite that, like, all three teams have a lot of different people, but they all feel very different as well. Like, C's, the investigation team, the Phantom Thieves, you'll rarely find people who, like, have the exact same opinions about all three of them. Like, usually there's a clear favorite among the three parties for every individual Persona fan, and they're always very different. I mean, well, compared to some other people, I mean, Yusuke's fine. Yeah, Yukari can be blunt even in Japanese. Like, I do actually think it really fits that the movie really focusing on individuality is the one where you get, like, all of the parties together. And there's the focus on just how well all of the differences and personalities complement each other. I mean, don't you think it's, like, costly to, like, load the exact same, like, software into every single robot and, like, police all of the irregularities all the time? Yeah, Futaba's really getting at some stuff I want to talk about later. It is actually kind of cool because, like, I feel like out of all people here, Mitsuru's probably the one who you'd think would most lean towards the idea of a homogenized world. Like, she does just generally seem to be the most, like, orderly of everyone out here, except maybe Makoto. But no, I still think Mitsuru's, like, maybe even more so than Makoto is. It's really funny to see Akechi saying this, given stuff in Persona 5. Like, I know that he doesn't actually agree with that person, and he really does just want to get, like, you know, take them down in the end, and, like, make their defeat all the sweeter by having them rise to power. But still, you're kind of part of the problem, Akechi, just saying. Yeah, don't let your guard down is right. This area can be pretty brutal. A lot of the enemies in here are totally new. Also, look at these, like, just static PNGs repairing these 3D model robots. It is actually still a pretty nice looking area, though. Look, there's a head there. Once again, this is the wrong room. Intensifies. And so we have these, like, pillars around these. It's a cool design for a floor. So there's a shortcut there. There's really nothing much that we can do in this area, but what is cool is they put the 100% map chest this early, just to give you a preview of how big the floor is. It's kind of about the same size, maybe a little bigger than floor 2. I can't tell exactly how big, much bigger, but obviously it's probably a little bigger. But this floor is even bigger than you might think, because it has an Atlas Classic. Okay, already we have 3 new enemy types. Constancy Relic, excuse me, I'll bring up my notes, is weak to wind. Fail Gene, one of the funniest enemy names, is weak to nuclear. Glad I fused all those extra personas with Frailer. And Power Castle is weak to nuclear as well. Okay. I do have Berserker on somebody who no, Berserker got Psylink. I think I have Nuke Link on somebody? Anyway, we can figure this out as we go. It's a sad day when FemC has nothing to hit weaknesses, but I guess she can still Fire Link somebody. Although I just realized there's probably a reason why there are so many weak enemies around. Oh, wait, no, you have Scorching Blast. Okay, I can do this. Because if you Nuke Strike the front one, and use Scorching... Oh. Well, this is going to be weird. Ah, and I can't hit the wind weakness now because Yukari is stuck on using Nuke. Okay, yeah. Not a particularly great setup here regardless, but at least we can still do some damage. Did not get a cut in there, that's... Wow, double miss? That's not great. At least I get a fire link going with that. It's also like all of the random songs and I still get one of the ones I've heard already. And now Redemption. I just have to crit the Constancy Relic and then I'm fine. I did manage to get a lot of the unison skills that we haven't seen yet off camera and grinding, but hopefully they'll show up here. Okay, the healer is dead at least. Oh, that was why I was missing all the time. Even then, I just don't think it's worth it to stay here. I grind for about 8 hours only to get my butt handed to me by the first random encounter on this floor. And thus hard mode. Alright, your formation does... Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an option, having your formation reset between, encounters. So, yeah, those are the... Junpei, that's an elevator, not stairs. But yeah, the way to the next floor. But there is a giant force field in the way. I have said this earlier, like, right at the start of the... right back in the first, like, few parts of this, that I do like it when a game gives you a preview of your, like, ultimate destination at the very start, but you can't actually get there until you take the long way around. Yeah, enemy ready for beyond the door! Strangely, the 3 bro characters don't get their special screening and unison attack until surprisingly late. Like, you'd think that it would unlock there, but no. And there's not really much indication that this is gonna happen, but this is actually gonna be P3 male protagonist and Aegis. So after this, we'll be heading back to base and then doing some bios and regrouping. The last bios for this whole game too, wow. It's my boyfriend, says Yukari. Again, her eyes are closed. How do you know they're blue? And she's now showing why she's broken. Well, one of many reasons why. And overheat. That is her one weakness. Also, the way that they're positioned is kind of a role reversal of Persona 3 itself, if you know, you know. So that's interesting. And that's why I had to bring FemC to this. I'm surprised this sequence isn't fully voiced, but I mean, it's probably gonna get fully voiced after the battle's over. Boy with earphones! So we have FemC, Yosuke, and him, and Futaba, and Fuka. A lot of headphone lovers in these parties. Hey, Yukari's the one who gives him back his evoker, nice. Time to show them why I am also broken. and on screen right now is one of the few canonical same-sex pairings possible in Persona. As of now. And, like, it's kind of only really an option just because, like, they wrote Aigis as just so devoted to the male protagonist. Kind of like with Elizabeth and FemC as well, like, they just couldn't really change her, I was gonna say social link, but it's not really a social link. But yeah, we are once again fighting the UIYs, but this time they have a KNS with them. The KNS is in the back row. Now, annoying thing about this fight is that the KNS cannot be knocked down, so you can't get an all-out attack in this battle. I can go for an Orb of Power, and yeah, I guess we Elect Strike Link that. Akihiko, yeah. I brought Akihiko here entirely for Mazio. Got Zionga, though, too. And, yeah, the back one's weak to Garrula. I'm wondering if I should actually set up some buffs or not, but I think I'm just going to go full tilt at the moment. Okay, yeah, so Poison is going to be effective on those robots, as is Scarecrow. Yeah, let's go for Poisma. The KNS in the back can actually Pulimpa you, so shutting that down with a Pulimpa of your own is effective. But I just want to just try and go full-on ham here. Just show the results of my grinding, I guess, and show, hopefully, how well we work together, because that last regular encounter was not a good example of that at all. Sasuga non-queen. Okay, I forgot FemC was weak to electricity. I knew Yukari was, but I'm like, oh, okay, this is why bringing Yukari is a problem. Oh, wait, yeah, FemC also. I guess that just shows how quickly you tend to get rid of Orpheus in, don't kill FemC, please. You probably will. Yeah, Poison does a lot of damage to them. Someone's in trouble. Yeah, she's a little more than in trouble right now. She can't even use her that, but I guess I can... Oh, wait, I've got Strike Link, huh? I can actually use that with FemC. Interesting, okay. Do I... Bestial Roar as well with Kanji? I'm kind of thinking, I don't want to waste my boost, but I kind of have to Machismo Wall here just to make sure that FemC doesn't get exploded before she gets healed. And you're going to, yeah, I'm going to attempt to Pulimpa the thing in the back, just in case bad things happen. Oh, I love Yukari's fast healing. I mean, she was boosted, but still. And bonk! You'll also, I found, this might be the first time I'm actually using that skill, so I may have used it today. It's funny how, like, the follow-up is called Smash Link, not Strike Link. And that's why I wanted to shut you down, but hopefully I end up doing that. Yeah, see, unlike you, I have good luck stats and ailment art on my side. I really shouldn't be tempting fate, though, because if that Pulimpa had hit people, I could have been in trouble. I love how the poison damage is just, like, depicted as them just smacking themselves, essentially. Okay, Mighty Swing is... Okay, they're resistant to physical. No, it's not tempting. Let's just keep doing that. Let's Zionga, and then let's Garrula again, and then I guess I can, like... I guess you can heal. I suppose there was benefit to bring two of the main healers at once. Yeah, single... lowest tier multi-target is not really cutting it right now. At least we get one Link hit in this time. Either one of these is gonna be great. Yes, it was Yusuke! I wish I could make that the thumbnail, but obviously it's gonna have to be Aigis and Makoto. The other Makoto, you know, the Persona 3 one. But yeah, that was cool. So weirdly enough, that one never showed up during my grind session. I don't know why. I got the Haru one about like at least twice, but I never got the Yusuke and Yukiko one. So that's actually my first time seeing it in this playthrough, on or off camera. It's actually one of the coolest looking in my mind, but it makes sense because you know the two of them are all all about beauty. That's fine. And they both just explode from poison. Okay, now. Yeah, you're done. There's no ifs or buts about it. You're definitely done. And it's not even sub-buttle, as they would say in P4. Wait a minute, hang on, that was no cut-in. Okay, no, it's still hit. There's a bit of inconsistency as to whether or not, like, getting no cut-in implies anything. I don't know what controls whether I want to get a cut-in, actually. Or maybe it only happens the first time you hit the weakness on an enemy. I mean, it's usually not been the case. But anyway, okay, that fight went pretty smoothly. But again, if Pulimpa had hit earlier, we may have been in trouble. Oh, no full voice acting yet. I guess we'll have to wait until the lobby. Maybe they just couldn't afford Aigis and P3 male protagonist voice actors for this scene. I am currently in a state of being dead. I broke the game too hard, and this is the developer's closest attempt at nerfing me. Yeah, she just does this sometimes. It's fine. Just don't try and use the whack the machine on the head to make it work method, or she will immediately kill you. So the Overseer is also a robot. Well, that makes sense, considering that humanity's been wiped out. He said he was going to dispose of us. Surely that can't imply anything of the Yakutsuki in the real world. He's not going to try and capture Aigis or anything. So they lost their evoker all the way back on the first floor, and they made it all the way here with him essentially being useless. That, I mean, I would say that says a lot, and then I realized, oh wait, it does, because, like, Aigis is, you'll see, but let's just say that Aigis is so broken in this game that she can definitely pull that off. Oh, boy. Oh. He's no slouch either, though. I am so looking for, like, these are probably the two bios I have been the most looking forward to, because it's really funny talking about them. I guess one last opportunity for off-screen exposition. Yeah, that's true. Oh hey, Yusuke being the voice of reason.
Yosh.
P3 Protag is like, why is there a non-realistic animal with a persona? I always wanted a cat persona user to go along with Koromaru, but, like, not like this. I think Morgana's fine, it's just, like, I would have preferred a real cat. Because Koromaru is just great. Like, the fact that Koromaru's character is literally dog is just one of the best things ever. You don't need to have an over-the-top cartoon mascot. You can just have a normal dog, and... like, the fact that Koromaru is the best received of all three of the mascot characters really says something. And then Koromaru does have a personality, mind you. Like, he has the whole... you know, loyalty and protectiveness and wanting to fight the shadows. He also has a rival dog, according to the Link episodes, but still, you get the idea. Junpei, you really need to get into movies in the future. Seriously, Yukari should hook you up with some kind of deal. So yeah, in Japanese, this guy sounds about how I'd expect him to. In English, he's also voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, like Yosuke. Actually, you know, it'd be kind of interesting to have, like, him with his Alex Lee, like his Reload voice actor, and then Yosuke is still being Yuri Lowenthal in, like, a crossover to distinguish them a bit, because I do think that Alex Lee does a really good job. Also, get used to him moving his mouth while you still can. Very soon, he'll be affected by the non-movable mouth curse. that afflicts everybody when they are given the honor of a name.
ところで、君はどうしてここに来たのか思い出せないって聞いたんだけど。
私気づいたらここにいたから。
Because all three of our parties, we all know exactly how and why we came here, but she doesn't.
大丈夫。必ず一緒にここから出よう。
So, what exactly is she? Does she have amnesia, or was she born here?
なんて来たばかりの僕が言うのも変かもしれないけど。
I think it's simple, but I really like the P3 protagonist design. I like the way he wears his uniform.
それで、アイギスの様子は?
Yeah, that is interesting. It is pronounced Aegis even in Japanese. It's funny because like a lot of the time it's romanized as Aegis, but like they say Aegis clearly.
キリジョー先輩の見立て通り壊れてはいないようです。双葉、なんとかできないか？そっち系は得意だろ？私ハッキングは得意だけどメカニックマンじゃないぞ。
On the one hand, it would be hilarious to see Futaba try and hack Aegis. On the other hand, I really don't want to see what would happen if Futaba hacked Aegis. Because we've already got a problem with, like, Junpei teaching Aegis, like, bad words. And, like, hip slang. But, like, if Futaba was involved with that, no, that would be horrifying.
でも、できることはやってみる。ちょっと見せてみてくれ。
Although, granted, Aegis does read, like, Yakuza manga.
では、こちらへ。お願いしますね。
Oh, you exist, right, I've always forgot about you.
どうだった、双葉。
それが、やばいパーツがやばい技術で組み上がってて、ともかくやばい!
Yeah, this is the part where, everyone was looking forward to this.
全然わかんないけど、すごくやばいのはわかるよ。
Yukio's amazing.
自動修復機能があるみたいで、壊れた部分が勝手に治ってってる。どんな技術だこれ？オーバーテクノロジーすぎだろ。
When you think about it, that's kind of like how a human body works.
機能が正常に作動しているようだな。ひとまずは問題ない。消耗は激しいけど、この調子ならしばらくすれば回復するはずだ。そっか。こっちもよかった。
すまないが、しばらくアイギスはここで預かってもらうしかなさそうだな。
これで一安心だな。ありがとう。アイギスのことも含めて改めてお礼を言うよ。それで、君たちは。
And Amnesia, you met us before in a really amazing game called Persona Q1, but it had to be erased because continuity.
そういや、自己紹介まだだったっすね。八十神高校1年、辰巳寛治っす。
1年？年下なんだ。
Yeah, Kanji's younger than most people here, which is a surprise.
実際には1年どころかもっと年下かもしんないんだけどね。
Oh yeah, because of the time discrepancy, you're like, what? Okay, yeah, P3 is like 2009, P4 is 20, yeah, they're 3 years younger.
どういうこと？僕たちはもともと違う場所、違う時代からここにやってきた。
And that's all we'll say, because otherwise, time paradox.
まあ、その例外もあるみたいなんだけど。
Oh yeah, and then she's also from a parallel universe.
詳しい説明はおいおいするとして、僕たちが別々の世界から来たのは事実だ。そうか、わかった。
受け入れるの早っ。ねえ、なんか君に近いものを感じんだけど。
Yes, the protagonist aura is unmistakable. You know, something that okay, this is actually the thing. Something that I saw pointed out to me in a comment section that I thought was really fascinating. So, Joker, P3 protagonist, and Yuna Akami, they're all their era's idea of what cool is. Or at least they're, like, different ideas of cool.
ああ、わかる。てか、うちのリーダーも近いとこあるわ。
This commenter also mentioned that if the trend were to continue, Persona 6's protagonist would be an overpowered isekai protagonist. And that sounds horrifying, please no.
そういえば、あなたも竹場さんや伊織くんたちのリーダーなのよね。
うんあそういえばまだ名乗ってなかったね僕の名前は
You're about to become a ventriloquist. That's such a weird way to say it, but it's true. He's gonna lose his ability to open his mouth. But yeah, naming this guy. So, first name, last name. Can I actually fit this? I apologize to everyone here. I did very much intend to kill off the Gary Stu joke earlier than this, and then people forced me to do it for the reload streams. But Gary Stu is officially dead at this point. It's back to Makoto Yuki. And now we have two Makotos in the party. I mean, I could call him Yuki Makoto to, like, but I'm just gonna keep it consistent.
よろしくねそれで君がここにいるみんなを引っ張っているんだよね
Yep, there goes his mouth movement. It's like, it must be because they aren't able to sync the lip flaps to the names. So they just remove the lip flaps entirely.
このまま引き続きリーダーとして僕への指示も頼めるかな
Well, yeah, for the sake of convenience, I don't care.
うわその言い方なんかうちのリーダーっぽい
Yeah, so that is a lot more consistently the P3 Protag catchphrase in Japanese. It wasn't consistently translated back in FES. I think it was actually translated a little more consistently in Reload, but I'm just kind of talking out of my butt right now. I can't really confirm that.
そう僕そんなこと言ってた
I do like how he has a "do I really sound like that" moment.
無自覚かよ
まあとにかく指示は君に任せるよ
And Cotone's depression. Like, seriously.
少し話を整理しないとね僕と彼女について
Imagine meeting somebody who's like, oh, by the way, I'm the you of the real timeline. The timeline that you're in, you're an inferior replacement of me who doesn't get as much attention by, like, the gods of this world. Like, that must suck.
君はみんなを知ってるけどゆかりちゃんたちは知らないんだっけ
Oh, that is interesting. In Japanese, instead of C, she says Yukari-chan Tachi, like Yukari and the others. So, like, it's common in Japanese to refer to a group of people by, like, one of their names and then Tachi, like, which is like a pluralizer. But the fact that Chie describes the whole group by Yukari is kind of telling.
うん私が知らないのは彼だけのはずなんだけど
Yeah, no equivalent to him and her universe, and this also does kind of contradict a couple of... In fact, you know what? I can actually talk about the fan theory now. So, the fan theory that a lot of people have about Kotone and Makoto is that they both originally existed, and that their family had, like, two siblings, a boy and a girl. And one of them died in the car crash, and whichever one didn't die is the protagonist of that game, and that's how that timeline branches. It's a very common fan theory. It also lets you portray the two of them as siblings, which is kind of nice. This game goes with the theory that they are alternate universe versions of the same person, and I think that works too, because, I was talking about this with Lady Vigilia, actually, and she said that that could actually relate to the Jungian idea of the anima and the animus. Like, it's, too complicated for me to fully go over here, but basically Carl Jung's, theories state that everybody has, like, a masculine and feminine side to their personality. The two Persona 3 protagonists could represent, those Jungian concepts.
でも初めて見たとき彼が他人じゃない気がしたっていうかうまく説明できないんだけどすごく懐かしいようなそんな気持ちだったの
It's kind of hilarious. There are basically three headcanons to the dynamic between the two P3 protagonists. They're long-lost siblings, they're the same person, or they get shipped. Sadly, option 3 is not entirely incompatible with option 1 and 2 for some people.
おっともしやこれは愛の告白
Like Junpei! I did not plan that. I forgot that Junpei said that.
男ってすぐそういう考えになるよね。単純すぎ。
I mean, be thankful that he's not shipping her with himself, because, like, again, I love the fact that Junpei and Femsi are totally platonic.
しかしこいつも彼女のことわからないんでしょ
And here's where things get really funny, because, I've got a Tumblr post that I made a long time ago when I first played this game, and this line in that file was, "You don't know anything about Makoto either, right, Makoto?"
もう手がかりゼロじゃんお手上げ侍だわ
よくわからんが青い服の人たちは本来会うはずがなかった
でも僕も彼女と同じなんだ会ったことも話したこともないのにどうしてかな知ってるような気がして
それ私たちも同じなんだよね。みんな初めて会った気がしなくて。
彼女の世界では特別課外活動部に僕だけいなかったということは僕は彼女で彼女は僕とか
You've been learning from Edogawa lately, haven't you?
じゃいきなり何言ってんの
ふむふむつまりクマは美少年で美少年はクマっていうのと同じクマ
Yes, he actually said Bishonen in Japanese.
話ややこしくすんな。私は彼で彼は私
Does that mean that if you held hands, you would merge into a superpowered being like Seraph in Digital Devil Saga?
電撃の一心同体宣言ク
Huh.
マヒューヒューお二人さんお暑いですぞ
違う世界に生きる思春期の男と女二人は決して巡り合うはずなどなかった
And thus, boy met girl.
しかし運命のいたずらにより彼らは出会ってしまったのだった
You know, maybe Junpei should actually get a job narrating, like narrating movie trailers. Like, maybe Junpei grows up to be like the Persona Universe's equivalent of that movie trailer guy.
おい茶化してる場合か
And again, I did not remember Akihiko said that. That was totally unplanned.
それにこれはあいつらだけの問題じゃないんだぞ真面目に考えろ
あの青い服の人たちなら何か知ってそうだけど
Well, you see, they also know that, like, the twins aren't meant to look like that, and so, like, if they say one secret, they're just gonna break the whole timeline entirely.
ベルベットルームの方々ですね。
Oh, hi, Agus.
アイリさん。
おい、体はもう平気なのか。
はい、すっかり回復しました。ご心配をおかけしたであります。
It has been 3 turns, so I have recovered from all gear mode. Okay, actually, now's a good time to explain something. So, you might notice that Aiga sounds a little bit less robotic in her Japanese voice acting than she does in English, and that's because, like, the English version had to convey Aiga's development differently than the Japanese version. In Japanese, the way they convey Aiga's being more robotic is having her speak more politely. And then, from what I've heard, because I actually haven't heard the Japanese voice acting of P3 once she awakens to her second tier persona, but apparently, once she does that in P3 in Japanese, she starts speaking a lot more casually. In English, it's kind of hard to sort of pull that off, so they make her sound more stereotypically robotic in her, like, tone, up until she gets the second awakening, and then she sounds more quote-unquote human. So it's 2 ways of conveying the same thing.
よかった。これでこちらのメンバーも全員無事ですね。
失礼いたしますご友人の会議に歓喜しているところ申し訳ございません
何やら呼ばれたような気配を察知し我々派生参じました。
エリザベス何か知ってるの僕たちのこと
いいえ残念ながら詳しいことは存じ上げませんがあちら様がベルベットルームを通じてやってこられた。
Also, your existence has been overwritten by your true self, and not the fanfiction version that seduced all of the girls, including me.
この事象には意味がある意味のないことなど起きないですか
その通りよ。この出会いが必然ならおのずとその理由も姿を現すでしょう。
Well, the reason was crossover, but the fact that we actually do get to canonically see the male and female protagonists interact is just amazing.
この出会いが必然。異なる次元から来た者たちが一つの場所に集った意味か。正直私にはまだ理解できんが、これだけはわかる。この映画館から出るためには、ここにいる全員の力が必要だ。
Maybe not Yusuke in terms of combat.
もちろん君の力も。共に戦ってくれるか。みつる先輩。
いい感じにまとまったな。
これだけワイルドの素養を持った者が集まるとは、これもまた壮観ですね。
うわ、お前らいたのかよ。ちっこくて見えなかったぜ。
誰がチビだ。口を慎め、この金髪ゴリラ。
あ
Kanji Kong Bonanza is canon.
カンジ君、ゴリラって。
Who's Pauline, though, in that case?
笑ったらダメだよ、ユキコちゃん。
Maybe it's Nanako?
みんなひでえっす。
静かすぎるほどの映画館でしたのに、皆さんがいらして賑やかになりましたね。
Yes, and also we have 4 singers.
これはリーダーの統率力が試されるな。囚人、仲間たちをしっかり束ねろよ。
I already went through 8 hours of grinding just to get everyone up to the right level. I'm good, trust me.
口では何とでも言えるもの。態度で示しなさい。
Yeah, I feel like this game really doesn't expect you to, like, use everyone. It's a lot easier to stay at the right level if you're just picking one party and sticking to it. That's how Etrian Odyssey really wants you to play, but I like using everyone, so this is gonna be, yeah, pain.
新しく仲間も加わったんだ。映画の中に行く前にしっかり準備しとこうぜ。
And with that, it is time! Wait.
先ほどは介抱していただきありがとうございます。
アイギスさん、みんなと一緒に行くの？
もちろんです。私も皆さんと一緒に戦うであります。
でも、またあんなひどい目にあったら。
アイギスのこと心配してくれてるんだね。ありがとう。
私ならこの通り完全回復であります。
じゃあ先にみんなのところで準備して。僕もすぐに行く。
了解であります。
アイギスさんやコロちゃんたちのリーダーなんだよね。
うん、そうだよ。
まとめるの難しくないの？
そうでもないかな。結構楽しいよ。
でもみんなすごく個性的で、普通とはちょっと違うよね。
普通か。普通ってなんだろうね。
Yeah, I've always felt that there really is no such thing as normal.
僕の仲間は少し、いや、かなりかな。それぞれ特徴的だからね。でも気になったことはないよ。みんな違って当たり前だし、僕だって順平から空気読み人知らずなんて言われたりする。
でもみんなと違ったらおかしいって変な目で見られる。
自分を否定する誰かのために自分を変える必要なんてないんじゃないかな。自分と違っても受け入れてくれる人は絶対にいるはずだから。
でもそれでも私はごめんなさい。
おーいお前ら、早く行こうぜ。
皆さんお待ちであります。
早く来ないと置いてっちゃうって陽介が言ってるから。
言ってねえよ。
わかった、すぐ行く。うまく言葉にできないけど、今から僕たちがあの映画を変える。その結末を見たらまた話そう。
うん、わかった。気をつけてね。
Now that wasn't a great scene, but here's what I was really looking forward to. You can carry 16 personas now, and we can also upgrade it even further once we do more quests. And we have... there's a reason why these two joined last. Yeah, so there's Aigis, they join at level 35. Makoto Yuki, the Persona 3 male protagonist. He has the exact same weaknesses as FemC, which means he has 2 of them, and that's bad. But upon evolving his persona, that will change. And in fact, they do something really cool with his and FemC's evolved personas, but more on that later. In terms of skills, Makoto Yuki learns a wide variety of things. Mostly physical skills, and fire ones, and also some mild healing. And most of the other skills follow that, though he does get Mega Dola on eventually, and Heat Riser. Now, Heat Riser, as I may have stated before, is an extremely useful ability because in this game, it gives a higher buff than the usual Rakukaja, Tarukaja, Tsukukaja. And it takes up a separate buff slot so it can stack with other things. And also Invigorate 1 is nice for SP management. His stat build, though, seems to lean more physical, having decent strength and endurance and okay HP, really good luck too, which makes him good with like ailment and I think crit builds. Though his speed's a little on the mediocre side. What's also on the mediocre side is his magic stat, so overall you'd think, okay, I guess he's meant to be kind of an all-rounder, leaning more towards physical, right? You would be dead wrong! And that is entirely because of his signature ability, Full Card. If he didn't have... This is like one of those, you know, like a lot of Pokemon, how they normally be really bad, but they have a ridiculously broken ability that instantly makes them like OU or even Uber. This is like that. If it weren't for Full Card, Makoto Yuki would be mediocre. With it, he is one of the best characters in the game. This raises the power of Fire, Ice, Elec, Wind, Psy, and Nuke skills by 50%, and in its upgraded form, by 85%. And unlike Mitsuru's, this doesn't require hitting a weakness, it's all the time. This makes Makoto Yuki, despite his mediocre magic, the best offensive spellcaster in the game. Which is also how I learned that Shura Tensei's triple damage affects magic in Q2. Now that alone would make him one of the most broken characters in the game, but then you read the fine print of the skill, or rather what's not in the fine print. It doesn't say anything about magic, it just says Fire, Ice, Elec, Wind, Psy, and Nuke. Yes, this affects physical attacks from these elements too, something I only discovered as of recording this literally a few days ago. And guess what? That affects Link skills. Although you'll need to cover the Link passives with a sub-persona, this makes Makoto Yuki, the P3 hero, the best linker in the game. Yes, he outpaces FemC in that regard. But if you want to go for a magic build on him, there is a glitch you can exploit that allows characters to gain points in stats they wouldn't otherwise get. But I'll talk about that later once we find the reverse accessories. The one downside is he only learns fire skills naturally. You will need to rely on wildcards or sub-personas to give him other elements. He also gets no boost or amp passives naturally. But yeah, this guy is amazing. Use him. And now, a lesson in game design with Aigis. In Persona Q1, Aigis was one of the best characters in the game, because she uses physical attacks, and physical was broken there. She also had access to a gear mode, an effect exclusive to her, which doubles all her damage, this includes magic, just nobody noticed in Q1 because magic sucked, for 3 turns, after which she will overheat and be unusable for a little while. It doesn't take up a buff slot, and it stacks with Shura Tensei and Dragon Cry. Put some, like, powerful physical multi-hit attacks on her, and, well, this happened. So naturally you'd assume that Atlas's first instinct in Q2 would be to nerf her. But it turns out that whoever was in charge of balancing this game was also in charge of balancing Persona 5 Royal, and was the same person, likely, who decided to buff special treatment in Royal. What I am saying is, not only did they not nerf Aigis, they buffed her! Everything about Aigis that made her broken in the last game is true. All gear mode is entirely unchanged, she still has amazing strength and endurance, and good with physical attacks. Except now, well, one, the least of the issues, all three physical elements were folded into one thing, so Aigis just straight up resists all physical now. Two, they gave her a decent magic stat and nuke spells now, so she's not just good at physical. And three, they gave her a personal skill, giving her a 10% chance to nullify all magic that is not Bless, Curse, or Almighty on anybody on her row. Not just herself, anyone on her row. So like, imagine if Haru's Axe Guard affected the whole row. And when she gets her Evolved Persona, this is a 30% chance, which might not seem like much, but a 30% chance to completely block most magic on her entire row is insane. And also, she gets Line Guard, but she really doesn't need Line Guard. She does a good enough job of protecting her row without even needing to dedicate a skill to it. So she can still be an offensive juggernaut and a tank at the same time. There's really, like, not much else. Oh yeah, she also gets Summoner Calm, because she has to get that in, like, every game. And Dekunda, so she can get rid of your debuffs. And Marakunda, so she debuffs boss's defense. So, yeah, I have no words to describe Aigis in this game. Only laughter. Why? Why? I'm not really complaining because it's fun, but like, yeah. Atlas really likes Aigis. They knew that her waifu fanboys would riot if she got nerfed, so they didn't. I'll get to that later. So, yeah. With that, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time as we head back into Aigis third floor. I'll do more of the third floor before I do any special screenings, because there will be some more screenings that unlock as we go into the third floor. But I also really want to show off Makoto Yuki and Aigis, obviously. So see you all next time for The Brokening.